how the Nexus had targeted The Undertaker from the 2010 Survivor Series when Kane buried him courtesy of the Nexus. That was the final feud The Undertaker had been involved in for a number of years before he started just appearing every year on a frequent basis for one WrestleMania match, one match a year. And the good thing about the reunion of the Brothers of Destruction is at least wrestling fans of today's era of wrestling will have a chance to reminisce and look back at the history of The Undertaker and Kane, which some wrestling fans of today didn't have a chance to be there for when it was actually happening. I was one of the few wrestling fans who were fortunate enough to be there during the original feud between The Undertaker and Kane in the original years of the Brothers of Destruction. The good thing about this is it gives today's wrestling fans a chance to really reminisce and go back through the history of The Undertaker and Kane, which I hope is more referenced in the weeks to come leading up to Extreme Rules. Obviously, the Shield now will build themselves around the reputation of defeating Team Hell No and The Undertaker. They will think they have ended the era of The Undertaker, which no one else was capable of doing. And then in the weeks leading up, The Undertaker and Kane and then Daniel Bryan will challenge them to a rematch at Extreme Rules, probably a six-man tag team match this time that will be contested under no holds barred, which pretty much The Undertaker and Kane feel more home at in. They have had so many matches with The Undertaker's streak on the line at WrestleMania in recent years that have had a no holds barred feel to it, from Hell in a Cell matches to street fights with the likes of Triple H and Shawn Michaels. So why not have an Extreme Rules six-man tag team match that probably will be good enough to be the main event? I really have to give it to The Undertaker and Kane in this match with the Shield. Even though the Shield looked infamous in this match and came close on many different occasions to defeating The Undertaker, Kane, and Daniel Bryan sooner than what they did, The Undertaker and Kane looked in formidable condition. They worked on the same page, and the coexistence between Team Hell No and The Undertaker was something absolutely remarkable. I wish we would see this more for three-man teams and six-man tag team matches. I wish we would have seen the same kind of unity from the team of the Big Show, Sheamus, and Randy Orton for WrestleMania this year when they faced the Shield, because that would have allowed Randy Orton, Sheamus, and the Big Show to defeat the Shield, which they were unable to do. Teams like John Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus were unable to defeat the Shield from this year's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, so that says a lot. The team that came the closest, though, was The Undertaker, Kane, and Daniel Bryan, which leads me to believe we're going to be seeing a rematch. The Undertaker and Kane looked in great condition, and The Undertaker seems as if he hasn't lost a bit of in-ring experience. He really demonstrated what he was capable of doing, and for a man of his size and his capability and agility, it really says a lot. That really proved to me this past Monday they are doing everything they can to persevere The Undertaker, preserve his character so that he can be there for probably an additional 10 years. Now, The Undertaker is getting up there in years, and when you really look back on The Undertaker's career, he has faced a host of legends, future Hall of Famers, former champions, and his win-loss record is absolutely unparalleled to anything else that I have seen in professional wrestling. I mean, The Undertaker really has garnered the reputation of being one of the most intimidating individuals you could ever be associated with in the professional wrestling business, and those who were close to The Undertaker had a privilege unlike anyone else in the professional wrestling business, like William Mooney, who had the chance of working with The Undertaker for a number of years, who became one of The Undertaker's best friends in the business. Glenn Jacobs had a chance of getting to know The Undertaker on a personal basis because of their feud they had in the WWE and their tag team work they especially were known for in the Attitude Era, where they had their most infamous run as tag team champions, having a feud with Diamond Dallas Page and Canyon for the Alliance angle in 2001, 2002, where they unified the tag team championships. If you were a close personal friend of The Undertaker, boy, did you ever have a privilege. And, I was thinking there the other day when I was watching the match on the Raw Super Show from England that was, of course, pre-taped. It's really hard to believe that it's been 15 years, a decade and a half, ladies and gentlemen, since the arrival of Kane in the WWE. When he ripped the Hell in a Cell door off of its hinges, he confronted his brother for the first time ever, tombstoning him, costing him a chance to become the #1 contender for the WWE Championship at the 1997 Survivor Series, giving that honor to Shawn Michaels for the Bret Hart-Shawn Michaels encounter, which would be their final match of their respective careers. And then we see months of build for this WrestleMania 14 match. It's hard to believe that it's been 15 years, and one thing to take into consideration is there's so much history between the Brothers of Destruction, and one thing is to be remembered from the history of the Brothers of Destruction is the rivalry they had, because if not for The several matches they had during the Attitude Era, the matches they had in 2003 and 2004, and the most recent matches in the late thousands, 2010, 3 years ago, I think The Undertaker and Kane wouldn't be in the position for both of their respective careers that they're in now, if not for their final feud they had in 2010, which was a reminiscence of the old school feud, especially from the Attitude Era, with a Buried Alive match, Hell in a Cell match, a lot of matches that The Undertaker and Kane never had. Probably it's believed in the lines of a lot of wrestling fans that these matches were thrown in there just so The Undertaker and Kane could say in their extensive history that they had these matches they never had in the Attitude Era. And 10 years from now, fans will be remembering matches like the Buried Alive match from the 2010 Survivor Series and the Hell in a Cell match from the 2010 Hell in a Cell pay-per-view for the World Championship. 10 years from now, wrestling fans will remember the Kane and Undertaker feud that had those kind of matches, as opposed to not remembering it if it was never done in 2010. But I think that The Undertaker and Kane certainly have had a lot of history, and I think it was because of this feud The Undertaker and Kane are in the positions they're in now. And if I had to choose a feud to prefer out of any feud The Undertaker and Kane had, obviously I'm going to choose the feud they had from the Attitude Era, which was a huge contributing factor to them beating out WCW for a number of weeks in the ratings war. For 86 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, WCW were handing WWE their asses for over a year and a half. And it was because of feuds like The Undertaker and Kane, Rock and Us, and of course the WWE were able to jump ahead in the ratings and maintain a consistent lead in the ratings war for a number of weeks leading up to the purchase of WCW. And The Undertaker and Kane will continue to benefit the WWE in the angle with the alliance. They even had a tag team title run as both the WWE and WCW tag team champions, which was an incredible highlight of The Undertaker and Kane's career. Then they reminisced this in 2003, 2004 for WrestleMania 20, which was just done for the purpose of resurrecting the Dead Man character, and in 2010, which was about 7 years after the match at WrestleMania 20, The Undertaker and Kane do it again. Now, the tribute they had for Paul Bearer back on March 11th of this year, I think there was a little bit too much reference of Paul Bearer, but they did it out of respect to his legacy, and I think that's one of the biggest contributing factors as to why we're seeing the reunion of The Undertaker and Kane. This is the 15th year of The Undertaker and Kane in the WWE, so obviously they're celebrating that just as they recently are celebrating the 50-year history of the WWE Championship, which turned 50 years old just last week. Look for a video commentary to drop on my YouTube channel, by the way, in the coming weeks of the history of the WWE Championship, some of my most memorable WWE Championship moments we'll be taking a look at. And of course, one of my moments will be Chris Jericho becoming the first ever Undisputed Champion. You will see him in our YouTube graphic for that, so make sure to check that out over the next couple of weeks on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/JonathanClarke22. So to commemorate that, along with the WWE Championship, is incredible for WWE to do, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for WWE Creative for going this far. And I commented on this in this Corner with Jonathan Clarke archive, where I talked about, if they were to bring back The Undertaker and Kane and the Generation X around the same time, the ratings would see an all-time increase, and they truly would. I think The Undertaker and Kane and Generation X were two of the most memorable alliances in the WWE. The Undertaker and Kane, of course, had a contributing role in the ascension of the Generation X during the first few months of the Attitude Era, really the beginning, the culmination of the Attitude Era and anything. And I think that, comments that I made for English Corner with Jonathan Clarke a few weeks ago were comments that should be taken into account and consideration, because I really believe that if The Undertaker and Kane and the Generation X were brought back in 2013, it will contribute to ratings, seeing an all-time boost, an all-time increase, and we would see more conversation being brought forth by wrestling fans of the WWE community on Facebook and Twitter. We're seeing a lot of conversation now, more especially since the reemergence of the Brothers of Destruction. Not a successful reunion, but you got to believe The Undertaker and Kane will have the final word when this is all said and done, and all this with the Shield is put behind them. The Shield had a little bit too much emphasis on the Monday Night Raw Super Show from England with the arrival of them by a helicopter, and they go into this match so confident, saying they're going to decimate The Undertaker and Kane, destroy The Undertaker's legacy, and leave him beaten down and stripped of his legacy. To me, that was a little bit too predictable that was going to happen, and obviously what's going to be the aftermath of this is a match at Extreme Rules. We have not seen the last of the Brothers of Destruction. Now, with that being said, with so much history behind the Brothers of Destruction, we are inviting you on social media this evening to tell us what your favorite moment of The Undertaker and Kane's careers are. You can let me know on Facebook at facebook.com/HW Entertainment. You can let me know with a creative hashtag on Twitter at JonathanClarke1, and you can let me know while you watch past video archives of this radio show on YouTube at youtube.com/JonathanClarke22. This video will be featured for people who want to check it out and repetitively check it out too, because it is a cool video archive. My favorite moments, of course, from The Undertaker and Kane was from their feud from 1998, seeing so many incredible highlights. The match from WrestleMania 14, the 3 tombstones from The Undertaker to Kane, the Inferno match done as aftermath festivities for WrestleMania 14. Preferably out of the 2 feuds, the one from the late 90s and the ones from the late 2010, the one that I choose out of those 2, of course, was the one from the Attitude Era. Tell me what your favorite moments of The Undertaker and Kane's careers have been. You can let me know Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I want to know what you think of this. I think that it's pretty gutsy by the WWE to try to do this. Obviously, it was put into fruition to benefit a team like the Shield, which is one of the most destructive 3-man teams to ever come through the doors of WWE. They can be compared to some of the most dominant 3 or 4-man teams like Evolution, the 4 Horsemen, the Radicals. There have been so many of them, and I think that the Shield definitely have established themselves as one of the most dominant and intimidating forces in the WWE, and I'm happy to report for you guys that it seems as if they finally have a little bit of formidable competition, and hopefully The Undertaker and Kane and Daniel Bryan will have what it takes to derail the Shield for the first time since their arrival in the WWE. And I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction that the Shield will lose at Extreme Rules. They will lose their first sanctioned match in their WWE careers to The Undertaker, Kane, and Daniel Bryan. I got to put over Daniel Bryan too, because to go without acknowledging Daniel Bryan would be a little bit disrespectful on my behalf. I'm putting over Daniel Bryan because his contributions in this 6-man tag team match were incredible. He was the fastest one in the ring. He brought an incredible amount of speed and intelligence to this match. His character is nothing to underestimate in the WWE. Even though his character comes off as an entertaining Santina Marella type character, he is one of the quickest and most agile individuals in the WWE. Sure, he screwed up, resulting in him losing the deciding fall for the Shield to pick up the win in the UK this past